Hey friends, Ash here with Gents, and today I'm doing a tag video. I was tagged by Nigel at 2 cents worth. Link to his channel in the description. If you haven't checked him out before, please do so. He's a great guy. And the video topic is a fragrance that I have a love-hate relationship with. And I'm actually doing 3 fragrances. So 3 fragrances that I have a love-hate relationship with. And I'm gonna go ahead and tag 2 different channels to do this video, Tommy at Studio Scents and Matt at Georgia Gent, link in the description to their channels. Each one of these fragrances I love and hate for different reasons. I'll talk about that as we go into this. Each one is for a different reason. I kind of wanted to break it up a little bit. That way I wasn't just covering one specific love-hate. And actually, it was really hard for me to come up with this list for this video because, as Nigel says in his video, if I love a fragrance, chances are I don't hate it for any reason, and if I hate a fragrance, I probably don't really love it. But I made it work, so let's jump into this and check these fragrances out. Okay guys, the first fragrance I'm going to talk about is one that if you've watched my channel for a long time, you know I love, and I love it a lot. And I'll tell you straight up, my love meter or bar or whatever you want to call it is much higher for this fragrance than the hate is. Actually, I don't really hate the fragrance, but we'll talk about it. It's this one right here, Gucci Envy. This is discontinued. This fragrance came out when Tom Ford was the creative director of Gucci, and there were some amazing fragrances that came out during that time frame, like Gucci Rush and Gucci Pour Homme. Of those 3 though, my favorite is this one, Gucci Envy. And it's one of my favorite fragrances of all time. Ginger, incense, sandalwood, tobacco, vanilla, spices. There's a lot going on here, but it smells so good to me. Even though this one is already come and gone, it still smells modern. It's masculine. It's refined, sophisticated, sexy, mysterious. A lot of different things you could say about this fragrance. And it has a unique bottle, for sure, and that green envious juice on the inside. So yeah, love is obvious. I think this smells awesome. I think it smells fantastic. Like I said, one of my favorite fragrances of all time. Do I suggest that you run out and blind buy it for the prices that it goes for on eBay? Absolutely not. Don't do it. There's a good chance you're going to be disappointed. I love this one an immense amount. That doesn't mean that you will love this one an immense amount, and that doesn't mean that you should go pay $200+ for a bottle of this. So the love here is obvious. I've been gushing about it like a schoolgirl. What about the hate? It's actually mainly based around what I just talked about. It's discontinued, which can be a pro if you look at it in the sense that most people are not going to be wearing this at all now because they can't get their hands on it, so it makes it more unique if you do have it. But at the same time, it's hard to replace these. So if you run out of this, if you use it all, or God forbid you drop it and break it, it's going to be a pain to replace. And that discontinuation makes me hate it a little bit because I know it doesn't make sense, but kind of subconsciously, I wear this much less than I would if it were still in production. So due to the discontinuation and the fact that I know that the value of these bottles keeps increasing and keeps going up and will keep going up because these aren't being made, I don't really wear it much. I'll take the top off and I'll smell it and I'll go, oh my God, that smells so good. And then I'll put the top back on and I'll put it back on my shelf. So I hate that about this fragrance, that I've got this almost internal like blockade in using the scent. It's right there. I've got 2 bottles of this stuff and then I never spray it on because I just like talk myself out of it. I go, nah, you shouldn't wear it. It's harder and harder to get. It's finite, the amount of that fragrance that's left. The value is going to keep going up. I mean, don't spray it, don't waste it. Because most of the time it's a fragrance I'd be wearing for myself just because I love it so much. And then I think it'll be a waste. And really, I know it wouldn't be a waste because I'd be getting enjoyment out of it, but love, hate. Much more love, but that little bit of hate because I don't wear it like I should. Next up, a fragrance from Yves Saint Laurent. This one is Why Live, or of course, Why live, depending on how you pronounce it. Yeah. It's got juniper, ginger, bergamot, and sage as some of the notes in this fragrance. To me, it's a bit like taking Y Eau de Parfum, mainly Y Eau de Parfum, and then mixing in a little bit of that Invictus secret sauce. Yes, that bubblegummy sort of Invictus sweetness that people are drawn to, that people love so much, that pulls compliments so heavily. When Y Live came out, I did give it a positive review for the most part. I mean, there are obvious issues here in terms of it being a little bit boring or generic for people that have smelled a lot of fragrances. I get that 100%. What this does though, it does very well, which is versatility and compliment factor. So this one I love because it's extremely easy to wear. It's a great dumb reach fragrance. If you're going out the door, grab this, spray it on. People are gonna love the way it smells. I've actually gotten more unsolicited compliments with this than probably 99% of my entire collection. At the same time, that makes me kind of hate it because it does come across a little bit boring. I mean, it is Y Eau de Parfum with a little twist. And so it's one of those fragrances where it's hard to get really super hyped when you smell it. It's the type of fragrance that if you have a whole bunch of fragrances, it kind of gets lost in the shuffle. But it's just an enormous compliment puller, attention magnet. So it's hard to hate on it too much. So this is one of those ones that I love it for the same reasons that I hate it almost, where I can fully appreciate how good it smells to 99% of people out there, and the extreme ease of wear, the versatility, all that stuff. I love it for that. And then at the same time, I hate it because I smell it and I'm like, this is an obvious money grab, but it works. It's kind of like a small internal conflict there where it's like, I want to hate it, but I can't. That's what Y Live is. And that's gonna take me to the last one on this list. And this one is from a house that I really just adore. And it's Imaginary Authors, A City on Fire. The notes right here on the back, like always: cade oil, spikenard, cardamom, clearwood, dark berries, labdanum, and burnt match, which is the imaginary note for this particular fragrance. Now this one, I love the way it smells. I mean, look at the fragrance. Hopefully you can pick that up. Very dark, very rich, has this deep, like bourbon sort of color to it. And I'm gonna spray this one right now just so I can smell it. Yeah, I love that. Oh, it's smoky, it's dark. It does have that burnt match sort of feeling to it. Little tiny touch of sweetness from the berries in there. It smells fantastic. I love it. As far as just straight up personal taste, it's probably in my top 3 Imaginary Authors in terms of smell. Just, again, personal taste. It'd probably be Cape Heartache, Memoirs of a Trespasser, City on Fire. Now, it's possible that if I sat down and smelled each one after the other, that maybe this one gets bumped down a spot or 2, but it's right there. I think it smells fantastic. And the performance on it is good for me as well. So why the hate? This one, depending on who you ask, might come across smelling like bacon. Yeah, like cooking bacon. Does it smell like bacon to me? No. To me, it smells more like a campfire sort of fragrance, not bacon, but more than one person has told me that it comes across that way to them. So a few of the times that I've worn this, I'll be like, yeah, man, oh, that smoke just really popping. It smells awesome. And then I'll go out, meet with friends or whatever, and then they'll go, you smell like you cooked bacon before you came here. Did you do that? And then I just have to go, no, I thought it smelled good. And that is my conundrum with the City on Fire, the wearability of the fragrance. Now I know that Imaginary Authors is not really trying to be the most wearable fragrance brand of all time. They do have some extremely wearable scents, but they also have some fragrances that take a few risks. And this is one of those fragrances. To me, I felt like, yeah, it's a little bit outside the ordinary. It's a step outside the box, right? But still wearable. But many times when I've tried to pull this one off in wintertime or fall when it's cooler, it's just blown up in my face. And so for that reason, I hate it a little bit because I love it so much personally, but it is unfortunately that type of scent that feels like it's going to be relegated just to a fragrance that I spray on in the house when I know I'm not going to go anywhere because I like the way it smells. Other people sometimes aren't on that same wavelength with me. And that's going to wrap this list up. So Gucci Envy, discontinued, high price, end up never wearing it. Yves Saint Laurent Y Live, smells great, very versatile, kind of boring, kind of a cash grab. A Sitting on Fire, smoky goodness, or bacon. All right guys, it's gonna do it for me. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Thanks for all your support. Make sure to stay safe out there. I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another fragrance video. Thanks guys.